welcome to Stitch and Stuff. I'm Sarah.
I'm Kim. I'm the mom. I'm the Mimi.
And I'm the daughter and the other mom. That's confusing, but that's because we have some small people that join us that are my children and your grandchildren. So we are glad you're joining us today to talk about our stitching and other stuff, which is why we call ourselves Stitch and Stuff. And today is January. I don't know anymore because it's 2021. It's January 10th, and 2021 seems to be a continuation of 2020.
It could still be December right now, for all I know.
It's December 50th. I keep seeing those memes. Like,
oh, are you really? Oh, I haven't seen it.
It's 2020. That's what it feels like.
It could still be March 25th, 2020.
It's March 2020. It's who knows? Who knows anymore?
It continues. Yeah.
So
you know what's funny though? I was thinking about this because we joke around. Well, what else am I going to do but sit around and stitch and whatever? But the reality is, even if we weren't really in a quarantine, I wouldn't be doing that much. I wouldn't be doing that much different anyway. I mean, I might go to the store and kind of browse and shop a little bit more, but I just do that online because I'm still spending money. Ask your dad.
What are you doing, Liddy? Do you think we can't see you? Hi. Trying to be all covert.
We can still see you.
You're still not really hidden. Here. Okay, you can go by. I'll block you. It's better.
Okay, this is the stuff of Stitch and Stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, I think it's just knowing that you can't. And the bottom line is we would go out.
We're not doing parties and we're not doing get-togethers and we're not having people over for dinner and we're not blah, blah, blah.
I would maybe get together with my friend for coffee, on the weekends that we don't do, or we would go out to eat with our other friends on the weekend that we used to do. And that's about the only thing, when you work 10 hours a day, you don't really have much of a life on the weeknights anyway. You're usually so tired and, dad's tired. So it's just the mentality of it. It's just the mentality of it, I think. Yeah,
it's feeling
mm-hmm.
There's no other options, really.
Your dad looked at me on Friday night because he had to work Saturday and I didn't, obviously. And he goes, "So what are your plans for tomorrow?" And I'm sitting there in my pajamas, cross-stitching and watching something. I go, "This."
You're seeing it.
I might not even go to bed. I might just still be sitting here when you get up.
It's just going to be one long continuous day.
Yesterday, I didn't take a shower till 4. And, I have to give some preface to this. So on Friday, I was not feeling well. And it's the first time I've ever in this last year thought, oh man, is this just old age stress stuff? Or could I possibly have COVID? I had some symptoms that definitely fell into that camp, but they were mild. And I probably wouldn't have thought anything about them if it hadn't been a pandemic, or if I didn't have a pregnant daughter-in-law living on our property that's in our house all the time. So I did go get a COVID test on Friday, late morning, early afternoon, and didn't feel good. Just had a really bad headache. And the more I thought about it, the headache really felt like what I would classify as a migraine. I call them my migraines. And so my other symptoms on Friday really did go along with what I usually get when I have one of those kind of headaches. But I had some symptoms Wednesday that weren't migraine related. So anyway, Saturday, I got my results back and they're negative, which I kind of expected. But
where would you have gotten COVID? But I told you should get a test. So
yeah. And, we did go into a Cafe Rio and pick up a dinner order last week, and you just don't know, right? So, yeah, I didn't really think, but those headaches, when I get them like that, the next day, I still don't feel all that great. I mean, it kind of hovers, and so I just really laid low yesterday, and I took a shower at 4 o'clock. Your dad got home at 4:30. No, maybe he got home at 5.
And he's coming home, I should probably shower. Was that the thing?
Yes.
It's kind of like you reverted to when you had small children. Like that's what it's like when you have babies, like little ones, not little. Like you don't really get anything done all day, and you feel great if you got a shower by the time your husband got home.
Right. And so he was giving me a bad time. He goes, "What do you mean you didn't shower till 4 o'clock?" I said, "What did I have to get shower for?"
My bother.
I mean, I'm fine. There's nobody here to smell if I stink, and it's just like. me. I don't even have a dog with me anymore. So it's just, my trailer dwellers come in and out, but I think they were around, but they really weren't around. They were out in the trailer most of the day. So anyway, it just seems like it's I can't get into this habit though.
I know. Well, and it's just been a time, and it's been a week, just such a week. And we don't really want to talk a lot about politics. Like, we really intend for this channel to just be a gentle, loving place for stitching. But we did both want to just say that we noticed, we were paying attention to the events on Tuesday, and we both, even though we kind of fall on the opposite side of the aisle in terms of voting right now and some other issues, both of us really, it was not hard to come to agreement that what happened on Tuesday at our nation's capital was sad and bad. And that's really, I don't know if you have some more to say, but that was all I think we really wanted to say.
Just want to say that it was a bad, terrible day for Americans. It's not what America is. And yeah, it was not good. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday? I don't even know what day it is anymore.
It was on Wednesday. Tuesday was the runoff elections. Wednesday. It was Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
So all the days, again, it could be May 5th, 2020. But
I will say that when I didn't know it was happening, because I didn't have any news sources on, I was working, and Andrew, my son, came in and said, people are storming the Capitol. And I was like, huh? I mean, it was just so out of the realm.
And I was like, are you paying attention to what's happening? And he was like, no, what? And I said, oh, go turn on the news. Because Jesse told me, turn on the news. This is big. Like, this is not normal. This is kind of history.
Yeah. So anyway, it
was a great grief to watch and see. And we are hopeful that the future will not include those kinds of things. But it made I got a few messages from some of our friends in Canada. Like, one of them is not related to Stitch and stuff, but just people saying, man, I'm watching what's happening and I'm so sad for you all. Like, I just feel sad. And I appreciated that so much, because that's how I felt. Sad was a big word, but
yeah,
it made some of those like beautiful things that happened this week stand out even more clearly. So we can talk more about those. Like, we had some nice communications and some surprises happened, but we don't have to. We could talk about stitching more first if you want to.
Yep, that's it. That's all we have to say. It was terrible. It's sad, and we wish it hadn't happened. And all along in the end of December and into the first part of January, when I would write a card to somebody, I would just say, here's to a brighter 2021. And it just felt like, it just isn't. But there are, and you're so right. There were so many other things that were good that, So yeah, let's get on to our stitching. Do we have girls first?
Do we do girls first? Sure, we can do girls first. I have one girl who's been covering.
Where did the slinky one go? Outside?
He doesn't have anything to share. Poor little lips look really red in this video. They don't look quite as red in person, but they're all chapped right now.
That time of year, isn't it?
It is.
You're the one that's been anxious to show? Are you the one that's anxious?
Covering one. This is the Doreen Jones Garden Stitch Along that Rosie's been working on. And I'll flash the pattern. They're free patterns, which is why I kind of feel okay just flashing it, because we don't have a picture. Dog and birdies, but I think you probably could do both.
So cute.
Show it. You want to say what it is or anything?
My name is Rosie.
And you want to say how old you are? It's been a while since we did anything like that.
I'm 7.
Do you remember what grade you're in?
No.
Homeschooler problems.
2nd.
Remember last year was your first year of doing first grade? And this year is your 2nd year. It all blends together. It's 2020 still. It's May 2020.
She's still in 1st grade. Okay, is that the hedgehog?
She said she's in 3rd grade. She's trying to jump ahead.
Oh, that's your hedgehog, huh? Is that the one that you started and it had to get ripped out because she flipped it? Or was that Millie did that?
No, that was...
Millie had one that she started.
She just decided to quit.
Well, let's be honest.
I'm not sure I would have wanted to rip that out either.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all you really had to share.
Huh?
3rd grader who's 7.
Oh, wait a minute. Didn't you start that project way back when you were doing co-op? Or is this a new start for her?
I started this one in September.
Okay.
But then she worked on her elephant a bunch. And then, is that the last thing you really worked on?
I think so. So she just really got going on this again. Good job, Rosie.
Tail braid. Look at this cool braid we did today.
Ooh, that is cool. Ooh.
Like a whip.
This looks like a whip.
Hey, Millie.
Ah.
Ow. Smacked me in the face.
I know. Looks like a weapon.
Are you not ready? They've been sitting here for like a half hour and now suddenly we're not ready.
They sat here and talked to me while you were.
She's still digging stuff out of the bin. Why didn't you have it all? Okay, but it's kind of big. What do you
I
want?
should ask them next time.
Okay, you come in front of me. This thing? Okay, I'll pull this out for you then while you're gonna talk about it. Tell what you've got.
You got to get a little closer into the picture though. Only see half your face. There you go.
What's it called? You show it. You're getting big. You can show your own.
Yeah, you can tell us what it is.
You do that fake intro, that fake Flosstube with Lydia. I know you know how to do this.
Oh, did you fix your mistake from last week?
This is
Part of it.
This is ripped out. She's
Yeah.
been ripping. She just
Oh,
I meant to last night and then
oh, so it's still being frogged.
yeah, still being frogged, but she did work on frogging it some.
And that was Forest Friends
Forest Friends by Tiny Modernist.
in a magazine.
Been working on that a while.
Mhm. Oh, you got your weaving out.
On our loom.
I'm making a purse.
How will you make the first?
When I'm done filling out this,
This like going up?
I'm gonna sew the sides. I'm gonna fold it in half and sew the sides together.
That'll be good.
Wow.
Will you make a strap, do you think? Maybe I'll have to show you how to knit like an I-cord or something. Or
Yeah.
you could weave a skinny little one. That'd be pretty.
Yeah. You wouldn't have to do the whole warp or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know anything about weaving.
Yeah, you would just string a few of these. Weave back and forth on a few rather than the whole thing. It looks beautiful. Show it one more.
Did that yarn come with the kit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really thick, coarse wool, but you could do it with any yarn.
Right. But that'll make, if it's heavy, that'll make a good purse.
This was a Christmas gift last year, right? It's the lap loom from the birthday. Harrisville Designs. We probably got it on some like kids craft website. I forget what. And it's beautiful, and it came with all these different kinds. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think you probably used all the colors now, right?
Yeah,
At least
I'm
once.
going in a
How much of that did you do this week?
Yeah. How many stripes did you do? Where was it at when you started this week?
Right here.
The teal and the yellow and the green, and started the orange.
How much higher up do you think you're going to go?
All the way up.
Double that? Okay. So like it'll be a little pouch purse.
Long purse, big, long, narrow. It's pretty. Yeah.
It'll probably be like this.
Yeah, it would be half the length of as long as you make it. So if you stopped now, you would just have a really narrow little purse. So it will just be as long as you make it.
Like a little tiny pouch.
So that's what we have had working on. This week, we're starting back to school, and I'm going to assign some handicraft time
Mhm.
for everybody, whether they
Mhm.
show it or not, but
Yeah.
that way they'll keep progress.
Just, yeah, you want them to still be working on stuff. And I think that, even just a little bit, doesn't have to be like hours and hours, but it kind of cements that into your, I don't know, it's not your psyche, but I just think it makes it part of your life.
Right.
And I think it makes for a lifelong crafter, although I wasn't a lifelong crafter until I got to be married, but
now you are, definitely. Okay,
yeah.
we both have the same fully finished that we, like from the vault that we both pulled. So, ta-da! We both just happened to say, oh, I think I'll share this week. So it's called Love and Joy, right? From Alicia Paulson.
I think so, yeah. It was one of her first ones because it was before she did her, the one I showed last week, and you've showed the fall one, that series. This was before that.
Yeah, I think this might have been like the second or third thing she designed, because it's probably the second. I think I stitched her one of her ABC designs, and I think I did this one. And mine's not perfect. It's got the crease. Yes. but I still love it. I pull it out at Christmas and then I keep it up.
Yeah.
And the lovely thing is I actually stitched the date for once into this one. You did too. So I stitched it a year ahead of you.
I did it in 18. Yeah. I think this is one that I bought you the pattern for, and then you passed it to me. Because this is not, it's the right count, but it's not her fabric. I think I must have, I don't know where I would have gotten it, but you're right. I did put the date in.
The other thing that's interesting, and this is just a camera thing, is that ours look flipped on my screen, but I wonder when I go back and edit this,
I know.
flips it.
I noticed that last week about a couple of things. And my mug looked,
The hat.
I had my initials, Kim, looked backwards to me, but when it airs, it's right. I think, talking about putting our dates on over here. I was thinking about, there's some different Etsy shops, and I think Lindy Stitches used to have them on her shop. The little stickers that you can get. Yeah. And I thought, I should just get some of those for pieces that I don't necessarily want to fool around with putting my initials and everything, and have it attached to the frame at least. And then if somebody decades from now takes it out of the frame, they might have enough sense to keep the tag with the, in the family or something. But I'm thinking about getting some of those because I used to always put well, you'd think I didn't, because every piece I show on this show, I didn't put my initials or the date in, but in my memory, I did it all the time. So I'm not sure where those pieces are, but it was always tricky to kind of find the right spot to do it. And
and I feel like my initials are kind of hard to do, S and D. Like, I don't know, they just don't quite correspond right.
There's a piece I found in my bin from a long time ago that I had not finished, but for some reason, or maybe I had finished it, but I need to go look at it, where I had done my initials the way I liked it, and I did KRG. So there was the way I did them, I really liked them, but I didn't put like 1998, huh?
But mine are sad, so I feel like SAD. I'll just do SD. I should be in the habit of doing that though.
But I didn't put like 1998, whereas this I put 2018. I think I just didn't think ahead that we would eventually be out of the 1900s.
Yeah, that someday there will be a 2098, and maybe your stitching will still.
Someday there'd be a 2020.
Believe it or not, and a 2021.
I know, but I did not put mine out at Christmas. I saved it to take it out at Christmas, in winter, even though it says love and joy come to you. I think that's a good message for the whole year. But yeah, I like it.
A cozy one.
It's a cozy one. I think it's one of the, I must have started stitching the green piece by her, because that was what really got me back to stitching. And then I started that one, and then I did this one. So yeah, that's I have no finished objects.
I don't either. Do you want to do your whips, or do you want me to? You can go ahead. I did the girls on this end.
Oh, okay. So, I've talked about how I'm doing the magazine monthly challenge.
Yes.
Yeah. They're doing a bingo called Baringo. And let me tell you, it is keeping me on my toes, because every day there's a number called. And so I'm stitching on a lot of things, but maybe only an hour. So I maybe stitch on 3 things in an evening, because I also had to put my WIPGO in there, which some of my WIPGOs are on Bringo, but those haven't been called yet. And then this weekend was a WIPGO weekend. So you can do it's an event that Jessie Marie has put together for 2021 WIPGO. And you just pick your own goal, post a picture, starting and ending picture. You get points for a drawing at the end of the year for various different things. So I did want to work on that. So anyway, with no further ado, I will try to do this kind of quickly, so that I didn't on Monday. I'm sure I worked on something besides just this, but I was kind of bad about marking it all down. It was just kind of I went back to work on Monday, and it was a rough week. I'll just say that. I was so glad when Thursday rolled around and my Friday at 4:30, or Thursday at 4:30, I was ready to be done. But I started this piece, actually, Luminous Fiber Arts started it, I think on the first day of summer, maybe. It's the Loose Feathers Blackbird Designs, and there's 3. She didn't do all 4 seasons. I'm not quite sure why, but she did summer and autumn. I'm sure a lot of people have seen these.
I've
And
stitching.
winter. Hmm?
I've seen several people stitching them too last
I
year.
love them. I love stitching birds. I mean, well, I don't necessarily love stitching them, but I love having stitched birds. So anyway, I started summer, and when I started, I only did the A before I put it away all fall. So this week I did the B and the C, and the color is not coming up at all, but this color is absolutely stunning. It is called Manor Red, and it's a very maroon.
Oh, it matches your top. Hold it against the white, Mom. Hold it against the white.
That's what I'm doing. It's not showing up. It's a very, very dark maroon red with a lot of variegation in it, and it's beautiful, but my lighting, it's winter. But I did the B and the C, and I am doing them all on one piece. Piece of fabric. I'm not sure I've seen a picture in any of the leaflets of them all 3 done together. But you can see, I guess, in this one where they've
All
done
in one strip, one piece.
here you can see summer and autumn together.
Oh, right, because the alphabet goes across.
Yeah, the alphabet just goes right across. So they just line right up to each other.
And then is that initials at the bottom, like you would maybe do KRG?
Yeah. Yeah, right there.
Cute.
Yeah, I really like them. It calls for mostly classic color works, a couple gentle arts, and I don't think, oh, I am stitching it on a 25 count Lugana pewter, which is why I probably like it. But this B just gave me fits. I had it just started. I had just the lower part of the B done before I picked it up this week. And then I got all off halfway up, so I had to rip it out. And then I started going up again, and I was off again, so I ripped it out. So that was one evening of stitching, probably 3 hours.
That letter B was 3 hours.
Well, I squeezed C in. I managed to do C without messing it up.
Okay.
It was not a good night. But again, that was my first day back to work, which was a particularly rough day. So I probably really didn't
keeping your eyes open.
that too, and I probably just wasn't in the mental capacity to be thinking too hard about anything, because it was after a week and a half off. I tell you, that was rough. So that I did that on Monday, and that was, I'm not going to tell you all the numbers that were called, because if you're not doing this, it's not going to matter. But that was one of the Bringo numbers. And then I also had a new start for one of them. It's also, there's a Bringo call, and it's also for my magazine monthly regular challenge. They have like they have a general piece you're supposed to start out of a magazine that you have or you bought, and then they have an acrostic. And so this one fit into my acrostic for this month, for what month are we? January. And it's another Blackbird design. I don't really stitch a lot of hers, but this one is called
Oh, I love that one. Ooh.
I bought, isn't that pretty?
Were we together when you bought that?
Yeah, I bought that when we went to Tri-Cities. Yeah. But the funny thing is that, okay, sorry, I thought I turned my volume on my phone off, because there, silent mode. Yeah, sorry. But you know, when I look at this piece on the, you know, this is one of those instances where it looks like it's going to be all grays and blues.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Oh, so the colors on, that's right. We talked about this when I wonder if we talked about it on the last.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got them all in. They're all very muted browns, and I'm sorry. This is just not going to show it justice.
That is not at all what it looks like it would be like.
Not at all. And I picked a piece of fabric. It's very small. There's a series of these. They're called Anniversaries of the Heart. And I think there was going to be one for every month and then a bonus one. But I've never seen anybody stitch these. I've never seen anybody talk about them. I don't even know what the other ones are, because they're left blank. I should look them up. But I dyed this piece of fabric over quarantine when I was messing around. It's a little bit darker than I wanted it to be, but this is the start I got.
Ooh, pretty.
And that's actually 2 different colors, but you can't really tell. This up here is a different thread than this, but they're very similar. And maybe if I was stitching a bigger piece, maybe one of them is more variegated, but this piece is pretty dirty looking. I mean, I really dirtied it up.
Yeah, it's pretty though. I like it like that.
I think it'll be pretty. I think most of the colors will show up. okay. I might have to change a couple, but so I did that. That was on Tuesday night, and I really enjoyed working on that because I've kind of been waiting to start that one since they bought it. When did we come over? Like October maybe or something? And then I worked on my Joyful World. I think last week when I showed this, I only had his tail done. I'm doing the fox for January. Got his
Coming along so cute.
And sadly, I did have his head done, but his head was off. So his head is really off now.
Our stitching weeks, I just have to tell you. Like, we had sort of similar stitching with the off.
So I'm going to work on him tonight a little bit. If I can get my my WIPGO weekend done. I have one more hour to do on something. So anyway, I got him going. I really am loving this fabric. I think that's making a big difference for me too.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
I think I just really am in love with the idea of doing this all on one piece like yours. And I think that's kind of renewed my love for it.
I have not tried out. I need to. I think it's not in a nice project bag. So I kind of think it's sort of shoved somewhere and I never see it.
One of my only, I have two nice project bags. And this was one that's.
Well, by nice project bag, I might need this. But to me, that's a nice project bag.
Okay.
This is the other option still.
So Wednesday night, I didn't stitch on anything because Wednesday night was the night that I started having some weird symptoms. I was super, super tired. But again, I'd stayed up late and work was super stressful, which I think drains me. But I also was super cold. Like I couldn't get warm and it's not cold here. So and I'm not hardly ever cold. At my age, we're just never really cold very much. So I didn't stitch it all Wednesday. Huh?
I said, excuse me, I yawned.
Then Thursday, it was a new start for my magazine, and this might be my WIPGO. It's the Cricket Collection Winter.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm making these really small because I want pillows. And let me tell you, this is really small because I'm doing it over one.
Can you hold it closer up?
Yeah, sorry. I'm not very good at that. Okay, so it's hard to see, but I'm stitching right here. Okay, and it's a little lantern. It's kind of blurry, isn't it?
It is blurry, yeah, but is it a sled by Winter or the R? Or what is
that's a sled. I think that's a little sled. Uh-huh.
That snowman is cute.
I know, he's really cute. But I'm doing it on 22/1, so it's pretty tiny. And I had to kind of pick a spot because I was trying to fit it into Bringo. Bringo 2 days in a row called for me to stitch with red. One of the clues was stitch with your favorite color. And one of the clues was, my acrostic, which was red. I picked this piece for the R in Affirm because it had some red in it. I mean, I was really reaching, and you can and my concern is I dyed this fabric. It's super dark. And this green in this W is it's 502, one of the 50s, and it does not show up well. I'm hoping that there is some snow that comes in, but that's one part of the W. And so I did the little red bird and I did the little lantern with the red candle in it.
It's cute. Oh, that lantern. That's adorable. This
took me some time because I had to rip out part of the green. It was that kind of week. And I'm hoping that the other letters will show up. If I'm not really happy, I might have to rip it out and start over on something else. I don't really want to, but I really love these patterns, and I want all four. I own all four of them. I want to stitch them, and I want to have long, skinny. I saw somebody do it. They were adorable. Long, skinny little pillows. Ooh, I loved them. So I worked on that. I worked on Joyful World again that night, but I probably was ripping out that night. And then I went rocking. Yeah. Then this is a big one. This one is WIPGO and a Bringo, and it's my Cardinals Dimensions kit.
Oh, did you start it? You didn't tell me you started it.
I know, I was surprised you. I am very intimidated by all of this. Let's just say I didn't start up in the corner, okay? And I realized that a lot of the white in here are half stitches. So I can't really tell on here, but it looks like I'm just not used to reading a kit's directions. So it's been a little bit of a learning curve for me, but I did start it. The weird thing is, and I actually saw somebody post about this after I dealt with it. The threads came on these cards, but they're stuck. And I think what you're supposed to do is just cut your strand when you need one, but I didn't think of that. So I cut them all and put them all in little bags because I'm super organized that way.
One at a time.
But I could have just left them all on here and just snipped one off at a time.
Oh, well.
Didn't learn.
Reach into a bag and get one.
I couldn't figure out why they were so stuck.
None of the dimensions I've ever done have been like that.
None have?
No.
Somebody actually posted a picture of this from a different cardinal kit, because there is another cardinal kit with just one cardinal in it. And I actually almost asked for that one for Christmas, and they actually posted, they go, what am I supposed to do with this? And I'm like, well, you're supposed to cut them off and put it. Anyway, there is, I did get it. Okay, so I'm going to show you where I was stitching, because it doesn't look like, I mean, it's going to be gorgeous, but I'm basically started in the middle. So I'm stitching like right around here, like the top of his head down to about here. Wow. And this is how far I've gotten.
Oh, wow, you did a lot. Oh,
so nice, because it's on Ada.
Nice big holes that are easy to see.
Uh-huh. Oh. So this is part of the top of his head. His beak is going to be over here somewhere, but some of that red is blended. It's two different threads. Doesn't show up very well here, but there's a very deep red. You can kind of tell. There's a little bit lighter red. That's a blended, almost with an orange and a red kind of color. So I really like it. It's nice.
I hate working with blended threads.
It's just two different colors of the same. I mean, it's not like it's a blending filament.
I know. I hate the process of like finding both of them and cutting them to the same length and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, well, what I did to make that easier was all these lengths that I got that I took off the cards, I just cut them in half. So they're all automatically the same length.
But then the other problem for me is with blended threads, if I don't use the whole thing, but I don't really want to chuck it because there's quite a bit left, then I can't really wrap it back around the bobbin or put it back in one of the bags because it's a blended thread.
I just put it back in here and use it again. I just separated them back out. To be honest, a lot of this, I forget there's some blue tones in here that are blended, and so, there's a green tone that's blended.
Love how it looks. I hate doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be, I'm hoping it's gonna turn out as pretty.
I hate blended threads.
Yeah, I just hope it turns out this pretty.
It will turn out that pretty. It'll probably be even prettier in person.
Yeah, it was fun, and it's, I think somebody was talking about, I think it was Stitching at the Cabin. They have a running joke about being Ada haters, because I think the daughter keeps accusing the mom of being an Ada hater. She's like, I'm not an Ada hater. I don't prefer Ada. So it's kind of nice to have an Ada project, because I don't have to have I just have the light on, so it's bright, but I don't have to have any magnifier. So I worked on him a lot. I worked on him 2 hours on Friday. I worked on him 2 hours and 29 minutes.
That bird is probably the female, just so you know.
I know.
Female.
Oh, I know. I'm just talking in general, gender neutral.
No.
I worked on her 2 hours and 36 minutes yesterday. So I've worked on her a total of over 5 hours.
That's a lot.
I know. And the last thing I really worked on is Forest Queen.
Oh, you did.
WIPGO. She was a Bringo. Was she a Bringo? I don't remember, but she was a WIPGO. And I committed to 2 hours this weekend to work on her, and I did it this morning, and there she is.
Oh, wow.
Her dark bodice, her arm, and this crazy, funky little bird thing that's up on her hand.
Is it a chicken, or is it a bird or a squirrel? A bird?
It's a squirrel, because it's not brown enough. It's 783 is that color, which is more of a gold.
Yeah. Huh.
I don't know what it is, but here, I'll show you that I do have part of the border done. So she's coming along.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. In case you don't know, this is a very busy pattern. I don't have a good color copy of it, but there's a lot happening in this piece. Yes. So those are what I worked on this week, which was, it's a lot of hours.
That was a lot of hours.
Most of it was this weekend, because I just kind of vegged out in my pajamas, like I said earlier.
Yeah. mine is all evening stitching, like while we're watching. So Jesse told me, my husband, Jesse, he said, I think you've never seen the Alien movies. And I said, no, I've never seen those movies. And he said, I think we should watch those movies. I think you need to see those. So I was like, okay. So it's fine. I mean, I don't really mind that genre. But I do like to have stitching that kind of keeps me grounded because I get so into what I'm watching that I sometimes get like actually anxious. So I did a lot of stitching this week and I'm loving having this. I've never done a stitching journal before, but it's really nice because then I can just look back and see, oh yeah, I did that this week, or oh, and I'm also tracking, well, I'm kind of ended up tracking several things by the end of the week. I was like, oh, I should just jot down that this happened today. So anyway, so Monday I worked on, so my WIPGO piece, my WIPGO goals that I'm doing were Tunnel of Trees, which I'll show in a minute, and floss organization, which I didn't bring to show. I didn't even think about it, but I did a lot of just putting floss into flossaways, quite a few hours. I also am using the multi-timer app that I think we talked about last week, and that's been lovely, just keeping track of those, and I don't even have to really think about it. I just hit go and stop. But I'll just kind of show through the week what I worked on. So last Monday, I'm trying to think if I worked on anything after. I did. I worked on Tunnel of Trees after we filmed, but I'll show that in a second because I worked on it multiple times this week. But I worked
on Joyful World after we recorded, but I think I just did a little tiny bit on the leaves because my threads came that I was waiting for.
So I finished the border around the top. I guess I usually show the pattern first, don't I?
Oh, look how far you've gotten.
I know. So I really am almost done with the picture. And then this is all words and fill in. I think I'll do it, but I haven't fully decided whether I'm going to really do the fill in. But I have a feeling I'll like it if I do, like how it looks at the end.
It's going to make an appearance on my January, by the way, because I have to frog something. You have to pick a piece to frog. And I'm actually going to frog my little, I don't have as much as Sarah at all. Part of the blue, because I didn't have the variegated and the substitution is not a good color. So I ordered the over dyed.
I have to say, I would not say the variegation shows much in the
No, but I like the general color.
Wasn't right. Yeah.
When I show mine, when I gets called, we'll talk about it. And then I think I'm going to work on it another time too. So hopefully I can get going on mine. But oh, she's so cute.
So I did I basically had the top border done mostly and the side up to like this cow or her flower. So I basically stitched all this black border and up and around just right.
And they have proper feet now.
They have real feet, not big, weird, clumpy green feet. I still cannot fathom how that was like how you were seeing it. So the only thing I really
Nancy saw it that way too.
I know, it's just so funny. The only thing I really have left are these flowers, and I have one of these cows. I think this cow.
Why do you think you really need to? Oh, because you've got a darker fabric. Fill in around the words. I don't know.
I don't have to, but I think I might like how it looks really nice and smooth.
If you do the words and then is there a border around it? Yeah. Then you can just fill in. Then you can just stitch it and fill it in.
And I probably won't really mind doing that because I don't mind that mindless fill in.
Yeah. Sometimes you want that mindless.
Yeah, it's kind of nice when I'm doing certain kinds of sitting.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what I do. Different kinds of sitting.
Me too. I just move from one chair to the other. Sometimes my legs are up on the coffee table and sometimes they're down.
Just depends on what kind of sitting I'm doing today. I will say, well, I'll share what workouts I did while I go through too. I didn't work out on Monday apparently because I didn't write anything down. I might have my days slightly off on what I stitched also. That's a note. my record might be slightly wrong. But I also on Monday, along with working on that piece, where is it? Why? I need to put a sticky note or make a working copy. I also worked on this toile sampler. Just show a quick picture because I've described what book that is many times because I've been working on it a while. And I did, the sitting down reindeer.
Oh, wow.
Really.
All of him? You hadn't started him yet?
I don't think I had started him. I think this week I counted over and down and I think all of that. So he's sitting, let me show you.
Kind of laying down.
pretty much have his legs to do that are tucked up under him. This guy right here.
Okay, yeah, you're almost done with him.
I'm almost done with that. Basically the whole, I decided to just go across the top.
Mhm.
I don't think I've done the birds yet. Yeah, I need to do the birds next probably, and then I'll work my way down and around.
Yeah.
So I worked on those all on Monday. Apparently I got a lot of stitching done on Monday. Tuesday, I did a lot of knitting. I am knitting the second pair of this sock. So, and this is yarn that you gave me. What is this? Do you remember? It's not sour.
It's perfect, isn't it? Did it have a thread so that you're
Perfect. Yes, so that they actually, the stripes line up, because that is a pet peeve for a lot of people.
I don't remember what brand that is.
To know if it would be a pet peeve for me, but it probably would bother me. So I just need to finish the foot and the toe, and it's done. I finished the heel and everything is done. So now it's just straight knitting.
It really works.
I know, yeah, they really do match. If you start exactly where they say there's like a yellow, that yellow strand is not actually part of the yarn that you would do. I'm sorry, let me turn my phone off. I should have done that before. There's a strand of this yellow halfway through. So once you've knit the first sock, you pull out any extra yarn till you hit the yellow, cut the yellow, and start on the other side of the yellow.
I knew that there was a method to it, but I didn't ever really know exactly. Because I think I have a skein of that for myself.
I had to do some research to figure out what I was doing. So once I figured that out, I was like, oh, this is lovely.
You finished your sock before you got to the yellow yarn, because obviously our socks are smaller than a men's sock.
The first sock, yes, exactly, because I didn't knit the biggest size of my pattern. So I didn't use all of it. So I just, I mean, it's just scrappy.
Cool. I'm glad it worked.
And that day I also worked on this amazing, gorgeous piece, the snow cone.
Look how little she is.
Oh, she's going to be tiny. It's just going to be so quick and easy.
You should have that done by next week. What's the problem?
Easily. I can't believe I don't have her done already. Wait, where's the picture?
Especially the week you start school back.
I know. I'm going to have so much free time. I am working right in here. These reins and this blue color. Just right. I started in the middle because I didn't know where else to start. I don't always start in the middle of a piece, but a big project like your dimensions kit or this.
It made sense to start with the birds and work out.
So big, I can't even find where I stitched.
Why'd you buy such a big piece of fabric? She's so tiny.
I wanted a lot extra for framing. Okay, can you see it?
Uh-huh.
That's done. Looks so minuscule, but that was like, oh, that's probably an hour and a half of work right here.
Are you doing 2/2 or 1/2?
Yeah, I'm doing 2/2 on 32 count, which is what the pattern calls for. So truly the dimensions should be a stitched area of 18.375 inches by 15.188 inches. So she'll be basically 1.5 feet by less than 1.5 feet.
So, I did read somebody was commenting on somebody's Facebook page about the, stitching Mirabilias and stuff on 36 count. And somebody said, you really should not do 36 count unless you're going to substitute the little tiny petite beads.
Yeah, because otherwise I would
have thought of that. Yeah.
I would never be able to stitch on this fabric on 36 count. I can hardly do it on 32. I have to use the magnifier just because I don't usually for 32 count need a magnifier. I don't even wear glasses. So my vision is pretty good, but at night I can hardly, even with the magnifier, I am like, sometimes my light has like an extra magnifier in a little spot. Sometimes I'm like trying to look through this.
That's how I thread my needle.
Tiny little extra magnifier to make sure I'm actually not skipping, because I do not want to be off 1.5, like a half a stitch. Oh, that would blow my mind. On Wednesday, I also worked on that little reindeer, the toile, so I won't show that again. And I knit a little bit more. But I will say, I should just mention, because I'm very proud of this. On Tuesday, I danced ballet for 1.5 hours and did 25 minutes of yoga. On Wednesday, I ran for 1.5 miles, so 22 minutes, and I walked with my friend my neighbor down the way was like, you want to go for a walk? And I was like, I'm kind of dying, but okay. So we walked for 1.5 miles. on Wednesday. So I'm going to move.
Well, I gotta tell you my big advancement, because people will be very impressed by this. So I started off a couple years ago with pretty bad arthritis in one of my knees, actually in both my knees. And then I've had a series of back pain for the last 2 years. And, the doctor's like, well, you need to lose weight. You need to move more, because she goes, what do you do for a job? And I'm like, well, I sit at a desk for 10 hours for 4 days a week. And then I sit and cross stitch for the rest of the week. And she's like, you're killing yourself. You need to move. So for the last 2 years of working in my office, I would literally take breaks every couple hours. And I worked in a house that was kind of built on a hill. So we parked in the back up on the hill. So I would go out the back door, down the driveway, around our parking lot, up the back steps and around. And I would do that for so many laps. And then pretty soon I was doing it for like 5 minutes or whatever. And she said, you don't have to do 30 minutes all at one time. I just need you to get up and move and get your heart rate up. So I was pretty good about doing that. And then I really hurt my back last year, and it's never really been the same again. And walking for more than 10 minutes sometimes is really painful. Especially if I'm lifting something and on an incline. So I really tried to walk when I came home to work from home last year, and it just wasn't getting better. So I've been doing some back exercises and trying to strengthen my core. But I started this week, literally, I have a kitchen, that's in the round. And so I was setting my little clock alarm for every hour and a half, and I was making myself get up and walk I would set the timer on my stove. I would put Katy Perry on. I don't even really like her, but her music is upbeat, because I want to walk fast, and I want to get my heart rate up. And let me tell you, after a year of sitting on my butt, it doesn't take long for my heart rate to be going, but I was doing that. And I did it like 6 times on Wednesday. And then Thursday that I didn't feel good. So I didn't do it, but I'm committed to doing it again this week and monitoring it, because I think what you did is great. Yeah. And it's what and not only physically, but I think mentally.
Yeah, that's I think what I needed was just, I needed to feel like I was doing something to take care of myself.
Mm-hmm. And it releases those endorphins.
Yeah. And I really do enjoy running. I think we've probably talked about this on the show before, but I mean, I have weight to lose. Running is hard for me. I ran with Millie the other day, who's 9 and tiny, and she's just like booking it. And I'm like, okay, but the amount of wind resistance and body mass she has to move, plus her little lean, strong little girl muscles. Like, of course, I was comparing myself, but I was kind of like, oh, I wish I could keep up. And, that's always been kind of a goal of mine, to be able to keep up with my kids and enjoy like active lifestyle. And it's been hard since quarantine, because like, we just are, in the summer it's easier. I garden and I do a lot more active things, but often in the winter, there used to be days before I got my Fitbit that I would just not move. I wouldn't go outside. I wouldn't walk. And then I was joking with a friend yesterday or the day before, because I saw on her Instagram that we have matching Fitbits. And I said, oh, we're Fitbit buddies. And she goes, yeah, it's awesome. It tells me exactly how much time I sit on my, and I was like, yeah. And she said something like, it also really helps to know how little I'm sleeping every night, because it's monitored your sleep. And I was like, yeah, that's basically what it's been for me for the last year. But I'm trying really hard to change that.
Oh, I have to tell you, Andrew, Sarah's next oldest sibling and first brother, who lives in the trailer next in our property, he got a fancy iWatch, Apple Watch. I don't know. There's so many different tracking watches, but he was dying laughing because he got it for Christmas and he puts it on. He's all excited. And then the other day, he stood up from working, because he works at a computer all day. He got up to walk into the house to go to the bathroom, and it says to him, "Good job, you're up."
You're active. It gave him like activity minutes or something for walking to the bathroom.
But it actually told him, "Good job."
It praised him. Oh, it's nice to sit here because we can see all the people that walk across my house the whole afternoon.
It's our little peanut gallery, because Emmy's been walking back and forth too.
Well,
hi, Jessie.
Yeah, the doctor when he went into the doctor laughing at him because he was out of breath from laughing.
Okay, that's the other thing. That same son.
It's time to move on. So we're moving and we're stitching. We're trying. It is good to be active and
I think it's really important. I want to say this to anybody that's older like me, because I think it was very daunting to me.
like
to think that I would have to go walk for 30 minutes because I'm not there yet. And to have my doctor say to me,
just a little.
you just need to do, you need to start somewhere and you don't have to do it all in one stretch. And that was really freeing for me at the time. And I've kind of got this last year super lazy about it, but I'm committed to it now because I'm never going back to that office and I'll never have that opportunity to do that routine again. So I've got to make a new routine here, and that's my new routine.
And
But
starting is like half the battle. The other half is continuing. Like,
but it's, you know,
starting is truly about half of it. Once you just start it.
and when you think about it, it's your life and it's keeping your life going.
Mom,
It's not right.
not right. Okay, did I show this last week? And it was wrong.
Yes.
I was like, I'm gonna rip it out. So I ripped it out and I put it back in.
Oh my
And it's
gosh.
still wrong. I don't know what's going on because I double checked it before I put it on. I'm really almost tempted to just rip it out and just do like a noticeably different like red sleeve or something. Just so for those of you who maybe didn't watch last week, this sweater is supposed to be DMC 647. And all of my flosses are organized and I did it very carefully and I have compared again to make sure they're all like in the right places. So it looks like a mess, but really they are all on these cards. I mean, they're just kind of bunched up at the bottom. And somehow what I think I did was start the sweater. This is what I think I thought I did. I thought I started the sweater with 3022 instead of 647. They are very similar, especially on the card.
Right.
So that's what I thought happened. So I ripped. So, and then when I got to the second sleeve, actually, when I got to here, I like knit this and then knit this. And then I switched to a new strand. And at that point, I must have switched to the actual 647. In person, they don't look as, I mean, I can see it now, but when I was just stitching in the evenings, I didn't notice that they weren't even the same color until I got to this sleeve. And I think I looked at it in the daylight and I was like, wait a second, like that's wrong. So I pulled that out and thought I'll leave this block here. It just looks like a color block sweater, but I want the sleeves to match. So then I went and I pulled 3022 off this card and stitched with it, and it's wrong. So maybe what I did, maybe this is 3022, although when I hold those two up together on the card, the 647 is the lighter one, I thought.
Do you want me to go get mine? Compare it?
Golly, I mean, it's just so weird.
Well, I think what you need to do is get 2 DMC floss is out of your regular DMC and hold them up.
Yeah, probably. Now that I'm looking at it right here, right now, the 647 is actually the darker of the two. So I just basically repeated the same mistake. So no mystery. I think I just did the same thing I did wrong the first time.
And I feel bad because the other night when she was stitching it, she was FaceTiming me, but it was dark and she had part of the sleeve
really
done.
Hard to see.
Yeah, and she had like the top part of the sleeve, my finger doesn't show, but anyway, the top part of the sleeve done, and she showed it to me, and I'm like, yeah, but every time the fabric kind of turned, it kind of had that lighter look, but then sometimes it looked dark enough. But again, it was dark.
Now, look, this does not look the same to me as that.
It does to me.
Does it to you? I mean, it does. If I pull it back, it does.
Yeah, I think it's part of it's the camera distorting it, but.
So I
And
think,
so I think that's the right one, honey. And she's, you know, I said, but maybe you're gonna have to look at it in the daylight for us to really know for sure.
So I think I need to just pull the sleeve back out one more time and stitch it with 647. Then what that means is what I actually did was I started knitting the sweater. I started stitching the sweater with the correct floss and switched midway on accident.
That's what I thought you did.
And I thought I did the opposite. So that's why I went with
okay. I don't think I caught that. Sorry. At least it's not that big.
that one more time, and it should be better. What a mess. That sweater is giving me fits. I've never had a pattern like that with these patterns.
I know.
Okay, so that was on Thursday. I did 2 hours of floss organization on my WIPGO board. And then that. And then Friday, I stacked wood for 2 hours, which was like a lot of steps. And I went on a 2-mile walk with my friend, same friend. I had 15,000 steps, which never, I'm like, it's great if I hit 8. 8 is like amazing right now if I hit 8,000 steps. So I was tired. And then Jesse made me run Friday. I worked on my knitting again because I'm really trying to finish that sock, even though it doesn't look like I've made much progress. And worked on Things of Autumn. So Things of series is one of my WIPGO goals. It's just not a January goal. So I'm tracking how much time I'm working on those because those can contribute once those numbers are called that time. So I worked on the.
Can they?
Did I work on this? Now I'm looking at this thinking, wait, I don't know if.
Can you work on it early and count?
I thought she said that if you work on it and you have your goal done before, you can just cross it off. Oh, I know. I was working on this book because the book wasn't.
Little book. It's so cute.
So I was trying to remember what I did. So I think I just had the outline done. So I did all the little leaves and the fill in that night.
At the ocean. That was so fun.
Yeah, this one's a cute one.
Take
And
me to
then
the ocean.
last night, yesterday I ran 1.5 miles, even though I was very slow because I was so tired from the day before.
Yeah.
Then we were watching. Hang on, let me see. Did I work on this one?
How many alien movies have you watched?
Just 2. We watched the first 2, so now we have the third one. I think it's the only one left, right?
Yeah. Here's my story of the aliens. I was such a wallflower that I didn't get asked to my senior prom. And so my dad took me to see Aliens 1 in the theater on the night of prom.
Oh, the first one, the one with the like guy popping out.
Yeah.
Like that's so iconic in pop culture. I'd seen that clip, so I kind of knew what was coming, but I didn't know. I assumed that the aliens were kind of like more intelligent life than they are. I didn't really realize it was just going to be like monsters.
Freaked me the heck out.
This morning I did this, and then and I've been working on finishing up that little handbag.
I should pull my other ones out.
Worked a lot on these things up this week. We can double check that about WIPGO, but I thought she said that.
You're probably right. I just don't remember.
Check it off, even if it's not.
Of course. Why would we not work on these things just because their number hasn't been called? That would be dumb.
Yeah, that little bag is so cute. So this one I just started doing the little straight stitches that kind of go along.
I love that little flower head.
That fern and the little flower headband. I did that this morning. And the last thing I worked on, grand finale, it's not really that big a deal, but I did work probably the most because it's my WIPGO piece on this tunnel of trees that Claire from StitchedLit also started in October, I think, is when we both started it. And here's what it looks like finished. It's in the Just Cross Stitch Halloween 2019 Special Collector's Edition. And I'm stitching it on, do you remember what I'm doing? Gothic. Snow Queen is Gothic, but I'm stitching this on.
For this. Did you order that? You did order it, but I don't remember.
Maybe it's Gothic. Let's see if I have the sticker handy still. I should have.
I'm trying to keep the stickers in my project bag so I know in case.
Trying to start that.
It has a thing about loving dark fabric. She loves it.
Well, I love how this one popped on that. And I decided to go with like a model rather than the blue. I think it's called for like a general linen.
Yeah.
So this week I pulled out a little bit of the blue. Or no, I think I just stitched this lighter blue and all that orange on the ground, these like leaves.
Wow.
And almost all, or if not all, the grass.
It's a lot.
I did do a lot. I was really pleased.
Especially on that dark.
My WIPGO weekend goal as well. Is that okay? Can you use your WIPGO goal as your WIPGO weekend goal? I don't know. But my WIPGO goal was 8 hours. And my WIPGO weekend goal was 2 hours, which I did last night.
Which counts towards your total WIPGO.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Obviously, they do count because you're only allowed to work on your WIPGO pieces on WIPGO weekends. Oh, but it's actually the number that they called that week, that month.
Yes.
So you're just putting in good time, dedicated time to your
dedicated time to that WIPGO piece.
Square, yeah, that is called.
That's what I did this week. Quite a bit of, got my fingers on quite a few things. Let's see. Do you have any haul? Because I do not.
I do have one haul. So part of, I was going to talk about future plans, though. Just one little future plan.
That's
so
fine.
I'm behind on my Bringo by 2 days. Actually by 3 days. So, but yesterday's number that was called, but because and you can work on them up until the end of the month. I don't have to get them done the same day they're called. But yesterday's, because I was working so much on my WIPGO weekend, the number that was called was your tiniest whip. And this is my tiniest whip.
Tiny Tim Turkey.
And all I had to do is just fill in the background. It's just all filled in with a lighter color.
That's cute.
I know. So he's going to get worked on
Like a little
maybe tonight. And then the number called for today was Stitch Something Out of Season. And so I had pulled this piece out because this is definitely out of season. It is my Barbara Anna Trick or Treat. So I'm stitching on her tonight or tomorrow or whenever, but I need to get caught up on it for an hour. You have to do an hour on each piece. But the other piece that I'm behind on was a number that was called and I couldn't start it because it was stitch a piece out of a magazine that's not part of your, it could be a whip or a new start, but I didn't have any magazine whips that I really wanted to work on.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to get going on this one piece, and it's one that's not part of your other monthly challenge, and it was the Nora Corbett Sunflower Fairy, which is out of a magazine. I can't remember which one. I don't know if it says down here. I actually had to download this on Hirschner's website, but I love her.
So pretty.
And I've not stitched a Nora Corbett, well, except for Gathering Eggs, but I mean, of her fairies. But somebody was doing conversion. They were pulling fancy flosses that they had in their stash, and they were doing a beautiful job on it. But I don't have a really big stash of fancy flosses to do that. Yeah. And so I was going to try to find a conversion from Valdani to DMC because it calls for Valdani silks. And I decided, no, it's a sunflower. We all know that sunflowers mean something to me because of my mom. And I'm just going to just bite the bullet and order the Valdanis. It only needed a few. There's not a ton. So I ordered them between Christmas and New Year's, and they come from Canada. I know now I can probably order them from some shops in state, but I didn't know that. So I went online and ordered them, but there's no tracking from Canada. And, sometimes things from Canada, like that package that Heather Miller sent, can take a long time. And my Valdanis came last night.
Oh, wow.
Aren't they so pretty?
Yes.
Okay, so I've been stocking the mailbox every day, thinking this could be the day they come. And of course, yesterday, I'm trying to give you a view of all of them. Yesterday, and then along with those, this is remember the blending filaments? That are going to go with those. Anyway, I thought today could be the day, and our mail almost always comes by no later than 3 or 3:30. I checked the mail at 5:30, and there's also beads for her, but and it was the same mail that I had left in there yesterday because I didn't bring it in because it was just a bill.
I don't want to face you today.
I'll bring that in next week. And so I checked it like it's
fun mail for you to join.
Where's my threads? So I checked it at 5:30. Only thing in there was the mail from the day before. And I'm like, okay, our mail got misdelivered, which happens because sometimes this does to our neighbors because their number is one number off from us. Or our mail hadn't come yet. And so we did a dinner Zoom date with our friends, and we were like on Zoom with the Conings till like 10 o'clock last night. Wow. I know. So then I started stitching, and my husband went to bed, and about, 1 o'clock, I thought, I never went and checked the mail again. So I'm shuffling out there in the rain in my slippers to check the mail, and they were there.
Well,
of course, I had to post a picture on Instagram, so I didn't get to bed for like another half hour because it takes me forever to take a picture and size it and do my life.
It takes you a half hour to post a picture on Instagram. We need some lessons.
Sometimes it does, okay? Just sometimes it does.
Mine, okay.
Okay.
Well, let me think.
That's my haul and my future. I think I really want to start her tonight.
I have some weird haul. I don't even know if it counts as haul. So first of all, my lip color this week is new. And I've had fun kind of playing with it because I've thought, okay, so I love Lindy Stitchers. I like watching, my brain is blanking on her actual name, Stephanie.
Stephanie.
She always has a really red lip. And I mean, I've thought there's other people I kind of like that wear a really red lip, but I've never, ever worn a red lip at all, ever. Like I usually go with like a dark red or whatever, which I like. But anyways, so my friend said, hey, my neighbor down the way also always misdelivering packages between the two. And that's partly because our numbers are one separate, but also because there's this whole farm story about how our house numbers have changed over the years. So it's a long story, but basically she said, hey, I have an Amazon package that got misdelivered here for you. And I thought, oh, I wonder what that is. So it was addressed to Jesse, my husband, to our home address. So usually, so I don't think this is a viewer that sent these, but it's possible. If you sent these things to me, please let me know. I would love to say thank you.
Why would they address it to Jesse?
I know, unless they found us somewhere on Amazon and like our account is through him, but my name isn't even on the account, I don't think. So
I felt like you needed some more lip color in your videos.
Yeah, this is probably somebody who mistakenly sent it to the wrong person, but I'm keeping it because I don't know what else to do. I'm not, but these beautiful, there were 2 packs of these CoverGirl. This is not stitching related at all, but they came in the mail this week. So I thought, well, that's very strange. I hope they don't have like anthrax in them. I'm going to put them on my lips. And
okay. Can we say Liddy or your mother?
Or
Can
you.
we worry about that?
Well, I mean, I wasn't super worried because it came straight from Amazon.
It didn't cross your mind.
There was a gift thing in there that said, you know, like somebody ordered it as a gift, but there was no name. So it just said, hope you enjoy your gift. So
So I am.
if this is a gift from someone watching this, thank you. And I'm really liking the lip color. It's kind of been fun to explore a new realm. The other things that I was going to say, so I didn't buy any haul because I don't go anywhere in my life.
Well, I don't either. I just do it online.
I know. And I mean, I bought really fun haul, like I'm going to buy new toothbrushes for the girls. Does that count as haul?
No.
But I got an email from somebody who watches this, and I'm going to keep it anonymous just in case she gave me permission to share it, but I didn't really clarify whether it was okay to say her name. But it really touched me and you, I think, too. But I won't read the whole email, but it just said at the end, it said, I wanted to say I've loved watching your videos this year. And then she says, it's been a hard year, and she kind of says why. And then she says, she lives alone. And so with COVID, it's been nice to watch your videos and feel like I had friends over. I know this sounds cheesy, but your videos have really been a comfort on some rough days. Thanks for sharing. And then I responded saying that was very meaningful to us because we started floss tubing. We had talked about it for a long time. And then we finally bit the bullet right around when we started to have to quarantine because we were lonely and needed something happy and wanted, I think, to find community in a different way. And so
we figured out how to do Zoom because we're not in location.
Yeah, we knew there was this thing out there that was called Zoom before that you could kind of like have conversations and record them, but we didn't really know how to do it. And then we kind of had to figure it out because of quarantine. My lipstick's like looking weird now though.
Sarah, I'll give Sarah the credit for all the tech stuff she does because I am not a techie person, obviously.
I don't do a lot of it very well, but
her husband did our opening music and our ending credits, so he
helped us get started with that. And now I think I could probably do it, but back then it
was all new to us.
So I said, I just saw a typo in my email to her, but I said we had kind of bantered about doing it for a whole year, but what you said, and then that way others, I said sorbets, but I meant others. That must have been a weird typo. Sorry to the person who received that email. That way others could join in the conversation and also find solace and become friends. I said, that brings us so much gladness. And then she said, I hope that I don't mind you sharing the email at all. I actually thought about doing a floss tube too. So you should definitely do one because we would love to watch you do a floss tube. You know who you are. And we would share all about what you were stitching, but she's a monogamous stitcher. So she doesn't feel like there would be that much to share, but believe me, I used to be a monogamous stitcher and then we started doing Flosstube and I'm not a monogamous stitcher anymore and I'm happy about it.
You know who else was a monogamous stitcher, and it cracks me up because I watched her in the beginning, was Carolyn Zook. She just had little short 15-minute videos.
That would
And
be
she,
even a 5-minute quick little Flosstube with whatever progress you've made each week. I would love to watch that.
yeah, and you know what? Yeah, I just think the more the merrier, and there's somebody out there for everybody. And I have to say that when people express that to us, it kind of makes us cry every once in a while, because it first of all, for this gal, I'm sure it's been very lonely to be quarantined alone. I mean, I at least have my family, and Sarah has her family. So, you know, I'm glad that that our silliness can just bring some joy to somebody, because, you know, everybody's looking for joy and hope and whatever in their life right now. I mean, in any year, but especially this last year. So,
And I do feel like when I watch other people's floss tubes, there is an element that I feel they are in my home, and I'm enjoying watching them in their home, and there's a friendship, whether they're even aware of that friendship, maybe they don't even know, but it does feel like I have these friends that are sharing their life with me. And then because there's that comment ability, and now a lot of people kind of connect through Instagram in even other daily life ways, I feel like I have developed some friendships that I would have never had. And so that email was meaningful to me because I've been on the recipient end, I've been on the receiving end of that friendship, but also loved, like feeling like we could then also have a part in extending that. So
I think, you know, I watched a lot of knitting videos for many years, and I would just put them on because I'd be home alone. I'd have my coffee and I'd be knitting, and it was like, and I've talked before a long time ago in one of our earlier videos that I had a very close knit knitting group for many years, and we did a lot of fun things, and we knit together almost every week on a knit bag. And it kind of broke up because of life circumstances over many people's lives, and I really missed that. And then stitching, I don't know anybody in close to me other than Jody, but we aren't seeing each other because of COVID, that stitches. And so I started watching Flosstube, and you know, sometimes I think Sarah and I have felt like, oh, our videos are so long, but I'm just, it is what it is for us. And I personally like watching some of the longer ones. I like to know about people's lives because, again, I think it feels like a friendship factor when you see a little bit about their home or you know what they did. It kind of just makes it more personal. And I stitch while I'm watching them. It's like I'm stitching with a friend who's talking about what she's been doing. And yeah, there's that community that is there. And yeah, so thank you so much for the sweet
and
email.
really do, if you start a floss tube, please let us know, because we will definitely would enjoy watching any of, and that goes for anybody, you know.
Yeah, if you're one of our viewers and you don't think we're watching you because we don't know you have a floss tube, please, anybody, comment in our comments.
Like I followed, so Gail's Golden Needle, she posts on our, I never clicked through. Emmy, she's like, sorry. She likes to take her food from her food bowl and eat it in the living room. And she eats one piece at a time and then goes back. Anyways, I followed through the link to Gail's Golden Needle and watched her floss tube, her latest whip parade. And it was super fun. And I didn't even really realize that she had a floss tube. So there's a little shout out to Gail. And she often comments on our videos.
I didn't know she had a, how do we not know that? Okay, people.
A ton of beautiful whips. And oh my goodness, I haven't finished the whole video because I like to finish and then comment in case there's more to say after watching. And I've been watching a little bit at a time, like
Gail, Gail, I can't remember.
Gail, Gail's, like possessive Gail's Golden Needle. And she has some really great things that she's stitching. And she just makes herself project bags. And she's like, oh, I'm not a professional, but could have fooled me because they are beautiful. And I was drooling over her beautiful quilting.
The other one you watched was Globetrotting Stitcher too, right?
Yeah, and that one we talked about last week. I didn't watch her newest. I didn't have very much. We were watching Aliens. Sorry, my floss tube time was really cut short by Aliens.
But yeah, please, if you guys are watching us and you have floss tubes,
yeah, leave a comment or something saying I have one, and we'll follow through because I love to. This is fun. Floss tube is light in my life right now when there's not a lot of light. Okay. Do you have anything else to say about that? I don't mean to cut us off.
I just thank you. I just thank you for the kind words. We really appreciate our viewers.
And I have another thing of kindness to share in a second, but we'll move into giveaways because I didn't know. So last week we shared that we were going to give away this, which was sent to us by Rhonda Smith. So thank you, Rhonda. And we were giving away some of the things that she sent us. And so we thought we would gift this to somebody. And the winner of this one this week is Heather Miller. So congratulations, Heather. I'm pretty sure we have your email address, or I'm pretty sure we have your address already. So we'll just stick it in the mail. But if you see this and it's like you've moved or something, let us know. And then our new one is related to another piece of kindness that was sent to us. So yesterday I liked on Instagram Barbara Anna's new mystery stitch along. I just liked the picture. And then a follower, I didn't check to see if she wanted, I won't say who, just in case they want to remain anonymous, but somebody contacted me on Instagram and said, I would really love to gift this to you because redheads, us redheads with my redheads and my brunettes, but this is the current Barbara Anna Designs Dreaming Girl SAL. And so she gifted me this design.
It's going to be released.
And it's being released in multiple parts. Let me see. Where does it say? Oh, I don't have that pulled up because I just have the picture, but it begins February 1st is when the first part is released. And I think it might be every week there's like a new part released. So you can kind of see. Try not to share. I mean, I don't think it's a big deal, but it calls for all DMCs. And she stitched a 32 count Lugana. And so the recommended size would be a 14.5 by 11 inch. So you can get this if you go to Barbara Anna's Designs on Instagram and follow through her link, her profile, you can follow it through. It's at Creative Poppy as well. That's where you buy it at. So our giveaway this week is that we want to also gift this to somebody, like pay it forward. And then this precious giver is also going to stitch it. So I thought we could come up with a hashtag because we're both going to stitch it.
I haven't started. I need some more Barbara Anna in my life.
I know, isn't it so pretty?
Just give me joy. I got a lot of them going, and I need to finish some, but I
haven't stitched any ever, even though I like a lot of them.
And the thing I love about her is, she uses DMC, but man, her color choices are just so
really pretty, and they're always very whimsical and beautiful. So I forgot. How about we put in the comments? Okay, we've got options of dreaming girl, redhead,
dreaming. Put dreaming.
Dreaming. I like that. Dreaming. Maybe what you're dreaming of for this year.
Yeah.
Or just the word dreaming. We're not picky. And then I'm not sure how we'll give it away because it's a digital. So we can do it to anyone, anywhere, I think. But I'll have to figure out how you give it. But we'll figure that out. So in your comments, we're dreaming if you're interested in a copy of Mystery Stitch.
I do want to give a little bit of a word of advice, because if you did go to order that pattern on Creative Poppies, which is who she sells through, and I think that company, she does not live in that country. I think she's Eastern European. She's still eating on the floor.
Yeah.
Creative Poppies, I think, is like in France or somewhere. I don't understand it.
Yeah, I think it's French.
Right. So when I ordered my Forest Queen, my bank alerted to, they actually stopped. I had ordered it one evening, and then the next day I was ordering something on 1-2-3 Stitch. Imagine that, 2 days in a row that I was buying something cross stitch related. And it go through 1-2-3 Stitch, and I'm like, I know there's money in that account. And so I called the bank, and what was happening was 1-2-3 Stitch, it was weird. It was like they were allowing a portion of it to try to go through, and then it would stop it because it showed like 3 purchases from 1-2-3 Stitch that had been stopped. And they said, and then there's this,
that it was a similar purchase maybe, and you don't typically do a lot of international purchases.
Yeah, I don't. And so then they said, well, then there was a purchase last night at blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? Somebody's hacked me. And then I thought, no, something else they said made me realize it was Creative Poppy. So just be aware, depending on your bank and how much they're monitoring, you know. I mean, I appreciate that because we've had our accounts hacked from people overseas making purchases in Spain, which I've never been to. So just be aware that that could happen. It must not happen a lot because people are buying her stuff all the time. But I was rather surprised by that. And I just want to give you a warning so that you're not surprised if something like that were to happen. But her patterns are definitely worth it because they're fun.
Well, and if you already tend to buy things internationally, your bank might not even like that. But I don't very often buy anything overseas.
So say the word dreaming somewhere.
Dreaming.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, well, there's another stitcher. She's called the Little Stitcher. She's got an Etsy shop, and I don't think I've stitched anything by her, but I'm pretty sure Sarah stitched little ornaments.
Back when I was just starting to stitch.
Yeah. But she comes out with little series, like little fairy tale series, and just different. And again, I do believe she is maybe in Europe somewhere, because I think I had to. She's in Italy, because she posted this in Italian first, but she's done a series of the snow, what's it called? I'm sorry. Called Snowbird. Okay. And it's based on a fable or a story in her homeland. But it's probably not going to show up very well.
I was trying to see if I could find what I stitched.
It's not going to pull up. Shoot, you guys, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I was going to show that this is what I've stitched before. Some of these.
Yeah, it's her newest one. So if you go to her,
okay, here.
It should be brand new. It's this little white bird. It's just so sweet. And she gives the story behind it. I think it's just called Snowbird.
Look at that. You're so weird, Emmy. Sorry. Well, I'm not seeing.
Are you in her Etsy shop?
I'm at her Etsy shop.
I don't see Snowbird.
Snowbird. Let me search for it really quick. There's Little Red Bird, but I think that's different. No, so it's not popping up. Is it Little Stitcher Shop?
The Little Stitcher. Oh, maybe this is two different people. The Little Stitcher?
Well, I did the Little Stitcher Shop.
Yeah. Etsy.com shop, Little Stitcher Shop.
Yeah, that's it. But I don't see anything new. Oh, yes, I see it. Is this it?
Yeah, it's hard to see yours too because it's very white.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's hard.
I know a lot of people like birds. There you can kind of see it. It's just simple. She's got it finished really cute on a little pillow with a little rickrack. Anyway, I just thought it was so cute. And the story behind it is a really sweet story. And I just thought, oh, I'm just going to shout that out on our Flosstube.
Wait, oh, you're just shouting it out. Okay. I was like, wait, what's going on here? Do we have another giveaway that I didn't know about?
No, not yet. Maybe we can. I don't know. We'll see. But I just thought I've seen a lot of
through digital. We haven't done that before.
Yeah. And I've seen just a lot of people stitching birds. And
those are cute.
Yeah.
My plans this week are to keep working on Tunnel of Trees and keep organizing my floss. I need to go get more floss away bags. That's my WIPGO board right there. My nice, tidy little WIPGO board. It's in the pocket.
Look at us getting all organized.
Guys, look at me. I'm like a different person. New year, new me.
Lipstick and floss away bag.
Lipstick and a daily planner for. Okay. Well, that's all I've got.
That's all I've got. I'm going to think about what I'm making for dinner tonight. Don't know.
I'm not making dinner. We can have popcorn.
Okay.
I wanted to go out to lunch, but we didn't.
Well, what did you go out for dinner then?
So maybe I'm going to make him take me out to dinner.
Ooh, maybe I can talk Dad and take me out to dinner. No.
No, you can't.
We did dinner out on Friday.
Like you already had dinner out last night.
Well, I would have cooked Friday, except Friday. That was the day I had that COVID test, and that headache was just doing me in. So we get teriyaki because I just need something bland.
So good.
Just like some rice and chicken.
We might be trying to get teriyaki.
Yeah,
that sounds really good.
I did hit the spot. I did.
Teriyaki chicken is like comfort food to me. Like I love all kinds of cuisine. Teriyaki chicken is like junky comfort food. It's so good.
Well, the night before I made this like green, it has ground turkey in it, and it's got cannellini white beans in it and mild green chilies. It's kind of like a green chili chicken or turkey stew kind of thing, right? And I love it. It's got great flavor. Put cilantro in it. But then the next day is when I had that bad headache. And so that afternoon he goes, well, let's get like Cafe Rio, which is like a not Tex-Mex, but.
You talking to us? My weird little dog.
Wants to be on the Flosstube. Anyway, it's more Mexican flavors, enchiladas and burritos. And he mentioned it and I'm like, no. It wasn't like I was nauseous, but my stomach just felt sensitive. And I said, let's just get teriyaki, which is what he always wants. And I'm always like, really? We have to get teriyaki again? And then he goes, you're asking for teriyaki? Okay, we can do teriyaki tonight. But yeah, the idea of eating something with beans in it just did not.
No, wasn't going to work.
No, well, I hope you get your wish.
We'll see. We'll see. He moved the stimulus money over into a retirement account. Look at her. She is so silly. Okay, go. But we didn't talk about him doing that first. So then he was like, oh, there's no money. And I was like, we spent that whole amount of money like this week. I panicked. Like, that was like, I mean, we got stimulus check for all 5 of us. So that's like, you know, not a ton of money, but it was enough that we shouldn't have gone through it. So I'm relieved to find that he had just put it in a saving.
Well, ours came in and I said, did our check come into the bank? He goes, yeah. I go, well, I want mine.
I want to stimulate the economy.
What do you mean you want yours? I said, I want mine. He goes, really? And I'm like, no. So he put it in our savings account because we drained our savings a little bit this year, just with like the refrigerator we had to buy and, you know, some of that stuff. So I'm really hoping that we get that next
find that we had a retirement savings. I don't know where he put it. Like maybe he started one because I was not aware that and normally we're not really great at money management, but we're not like terrible. We're on the same page usually. So when he said that, I was like,
I'm going to ask the girls what they did with their stimulus checks and see what they say.
Are you going to take us out to teriyaki, girls?
Daddy won't let us use our money for it. We get that 2,000 pretty soon too, because then I am going to ask for a couple hundred of it.
Okay. You can have most of it. I just want a couple hundred of it.
I could do a lot of damage for a couple $100.
Yeah, I know. That's a lot of money to me.
I know. I probably wouldn't, but you know, I'll try to be responsible. But yeah, it's kind of. The first stimulus check, we bought our king size bed.
We stimulated the economy. That's what it is.
We've been doing our part all year. I think we need to stimulate the restaurant business and get teriyaki again tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we gotta go. Being silly.
There you go. Here. Thanks for watching. We will see you next week.
Have a good week. Be safe. We love you.
Bye-bye.